From one of the original 6 NHL teams with 4 Stanley Cup titles to an Islanders dynasty that won 4 straight championships, there's a rich history of hockey in New York. But which 4 are the best New York hockey players of all time? Here are Larry Brooks and Ethan Sears.
I think that one is pretty easy to distill. I think there's Messier, 94, will win tonight, speaks for himself. I think there's Leach, who is the greatest defenseman in franchise history and probably had the greatest career in Rangers franchise history. Won two Norris trophies, won the Conn Smythe, was just a bedrock of those Rangers team. Mike Bossy, perhaps the greatest goal scorer ever, greatest natural goal scorer ever, and Dennis Potvin, who I think, could be on anyone's top 6 in the post-expansion era. And maybe there's an argument for Trottier. He's just a little bit below. I think, look, I would take Bryan Trottier anytime. He won 6 cups. He won 2 more with Pittsburgh. So, I don't want to minimize Bryan Trottier, but when you're talking, is it Potvin? Is it Bossy coming off? No. Is it Messier coming off? No. Is it Leach coming off? Sorry. So I think, Bryan again, if we can carve out a 5th spot, it'd be Bryan, but I've got to go with the 4 immortals.
So New York Hockey Mount Rushmore, I had Bossy, Potvin, I had Rod Gilbert, and I had Mark Messier. So Rod Gilbert, somebody who spent his entire career with the Rangers, leads the franchise in goals and points, and really is kind of the face of an era that gets a little bit overlooked in Ranger history. But I think if you're, looking for a guy who is just emblematic of being a New York Ranger, Rod Gilbert is that guy. And then Mark Messier, I debated whether or not to have somebody like a Leach here or a Henrik Lundqvist instead. But, to me, I just felt probably the most iconic moment in Rangers history is the 94 run and the 94 Cup and Messier guaranteeing Game 6 against the Devils, and kind of all of those moments from that year. And, Messier obviously was at the center of all of that.
Here's the official Mount Postmore for New York hockey: Mike Bossy, Brian Leach, Mark Messier, and Dennis Potvin. Do you guys agree with this list? Who do you think missed the cut? Well, we want to hear from you. And make sure to subscribe to Post Sports Plus for full access to this series.